extended through March 1st, 2026.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Sean Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know, Squirrel, we're about to have on a wonderful guy who's fighting for babies, and I was just on the phone with my family, and I have a nephew. He's 2, little Ralphie boy. Miracle of a kid. And we're all excited. Everyone's excited because he's supposed to come over, and I'm thinking about that. And then you got what we're about to talk about, the insanity of humanity, as we are arguing about mothers not killing their own babies. It's insane to me, but I think therefore I am. My next guest fights this battle every day as the CEO and the president of the Human Coalition. Jeff Bradford, how are you?
I'm doing great, Sean. How are you doing today?
Well, Jeff, you can see, I don't know if you've ever heard my show before. I really have a low tolerance for stupidity, and this kind of insanity and evil makes me sick to my stomach and angry all at the same time. But I love the fact of your approach to it, because you're not taking my approach, which is to say, as a parent, your only obligation on this planet is to protect your baby, not kill it. So to me, it's an intellectual argument that I can't believe we still have to have, but we do. Because some reason in this country we've cultivated young women and men to think that if you don't like your balance in your checking account and you get pregnant, kill a kid.
It's so true. We've come to a point that we don't value life, and especially life in the womb.
So there are many ways to take on this approach. And I understand that's where your expertise comes in, is to speak reason to the unreasonable, to educate through experience, and to inform through knowledge what character looks like. Do I have it about right?
You do. Yeah.
So what are your most successful ways that you do this?
Well, Sean, we were a group of business guys. I sold my company in 2010 and realized there was a gap in the market, that we weren't reaching the woman who is actually headed to the abortion clinic. And Human Coalition is now one of the largest pro-life, pro-woman and family organizations in the country that's building a national competitor to Planned Parenthood. We work to reach women who are in very difficult situations, women that believe, because the culture, as you mentioned, tell them that in order to flourish, they have to take the life of their child, and that men that are not standing but with them. And so Human Coalition is building a national rescue system that brings women into a system of care under a licensed doctor, registered nurses, and social workers to give them really the help and hope that they need, to provide things like housing and education, employment, child care assistance. These are the barriers that women believe that they have to choose abortion, and Human Coalition really stands in the gap to help these women through a really difficult time and empower them to make a decision. Sean, 76% of the women who believe abortion is their only choice will still tell us that they would prefer to parent if their circumstances were different. And I think that should give all of us hope, that these are not the women that we see on TV marching in Washington, D.C., but real moms who are on their way to the abortion clinic believing that they have to abort in order to flourish. And I'm just so grateful that I've been able to be a part of this work. It's the most amazing thing that I've ever been a part of. My wife and I share the story of many women and men, over 1 million every year. When we were engaged to be married, we got pregnant, went to my father, who we would have said we were a Christian, very cultural Christian, and didn't understand the consequences, and his advice was to head to Planned Parenthood, and we did, and we took the life of our first daughter. And it wasn't until I met 2 other guys that were business guys that began to share with me what their plan was, and that was back in 2010, and today, by God's grace, over 34,000 children have been rescued. And it's just a testimony to God's goodness and grace when we share our testimony and be willing to kind of step in the gap.
Well, that story I said before I came on, that's my brother-in-law's, a 2-year-old. My brother-in-law is 55. He has 4 kids. And it started with his second wife, who they got pregnant and got married. And it's a beautiful story, right? The other side of the coin is there are many, many hundreds of millions of people who were a result of the opposite decision being made. And the thing that I think gets lost in the argument is the decision that you make when you satisfy other people, which your generations ago, this was what you did. You listened and you did what you were told by your parents or by your clergyman or whatever the case is. So what I love about what you're doing is you're teaching this through your own experience of making a decision that isn't from my position, from your position. I think you have a better position to make that argument because you could talk about what it's like emotionally and through your life, what it's like to the consequences of that action. That's a very important, powerful position, is it not?
It is. My wife and I understand that the pain and devastation that comes along with making that decision. We thought we were just going to take care of it and never talk about it again. And yet, 33 years later, it was a lie that we believed, and the pain that goes along with making that decision. And that's why I'm so grateful to be in this movement, to be able to step in the gap and help moms and dads not make that decision, not to make the decision we made, and know that there are organizations and people that will help you, that will walk this, and that you can have your child and flourish too.
Yes. And it's funny because I'm thinking about somebody I know that did the same thing. And it's a woman, are the biggest advocates.
Yeah.
For the position of having the baby. And when you think about it, your life as a businessman, now I'm sure you sold your business, it's all very successful. How many times did you not think that was going to happen? How many times did you stay awake at night, worried about money, worried about going bankrupt? And it's the challenges of struggling that makes it so much better when you succeed and when you don't fail. And that's really the story of what you're trying to tell women. You may feel it's a solution now, but that struggle is what you're going to love 40 years from now, 50 years from now. And when we think back to Roe v. Wade and the rest of it, you're talking about 80 million kids, 80 million people. And now they have this abortion pill, and they tell women it's only going to kill your baby, but you'll be fine. And we have a tremendous amount of side effects that are being swept under the rug. So you have the opportunity to educate from all of these positions. And I'm wondering, it must be a powerful thing because I know that you're successful at it. I know that the mission is successful at it. And I'm wondering, that just must be truly why you say it's a blessing, because I'm listening to you and you could hear the kind of character you have. And by the way, it's our blessing that you come on and tell the story. But that must be what just keeps you going and motivated day after day. Because I'm guessing, like your own business, this is a 7-day-a-week operation, isn't it?
It is. It's around the clock, and it's why we get up every morning to help those moms and dads, empower them to choose life, to give them the help and hope they need. And it really is just someone that's a voice in their life when every voice in their life is telling them to take the life of their child, that they can't flourish, they can't move forward. And all they need is a little help and encouragement, somebody that will come alongside them. And it is truly a passion, and that's why the pro-life movement and those that are in it are so passionate about it, because we understand the devastation and the consequences of not choosing life.
And you have an amazing success rate. I believe it's nearly 80%, isn't it?
Well, for our client, we work to reach the hardest of the hard clients, those that have already made a decision to have an abortion. And so Human Coalition came really on the scene in 2010. And at that time, less than 2% of the women that were planning to abort, definitionally headed to the abortion clinics, were coming in contact with life-affirming options. And so we really set out to do that. And back then, the internet was a divine opportunity to go and find them and reach them. They're not going to come to us because they're already headed to the abortion clinic. And so our about half of the women who have already made up their mind to have an abortion will choose life if they just have somebody coming alongside them. And we still reach lots of other women, but women that are headed to the abortion clinic really need more. They're in very difficult circumstances, and it's things like housing and education, employment, child care assistance. This is the type of care that we need to be able to come alongside them with, and that's what I think we do really well.
Yeah. So what year did you say you started?
2010 is when I came on, and 2012 is when we started full time. And today we have over 270 employees, and we work in about half of the most abortion dense markets, where almost 2/3 of all abortions occur.
Well, I have to tell you that you theoretically there could be a 15-year-old out there, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old that owe their life to you. But I'm wondering, what is a story that sticks out in your mind over all these years?
Sean, there's so many amazing stories, and really that's what drives us each and every day. A mom who was minutes away from taking the life of their child, and through our intervention and reaching them at one of their darkest moments in life, and the moment that my wife and I found ourselves in, of that decision to head to the abortion clinic or to choose life, and we get to intervene. And there's moms every day, thousands of moms that will come back and say, I can't believe that I almost took the life of my child. I can't imagine what life would be like without them. And so those stories of just hope and encouragement. Karen was a recent mom that just came on with me, and I got to meet her. She was in a master's program, and she had had a previous abortion, and she felt the devastation of that and deeply regretted it. And yet she got pregnant again, and this time found Human Coalition. And because of the counseling and the nurses and us walking alongside of her, when every voice was telling her that you'll never finish college, you'll never finish your master's program if you don't abort this child. And yet that's what spurred her on to actually finish. And she's wrapping that up in her little baby Kai. She couldn't imagine life without it. And those are the stories that change the world, that make abortion unthinkable.
Yeah, I agree. That's the point we have to get to, because the other side of the coin is Steve Jobs was one of those babies.
That's right.
And his mother had said it. So now the business, I don't know what your business was, but you must have been incredible at it, because from what I understand, for a one-time gift of $130, you can help 5 pregnant moms. How did you do that? That's some mathematical. We should send you to Washington.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be in Washington, but no. Especially these days. Yes. No, it's amazing. The internet is still one of the most effective ways to reach a mom, because every mom is online. And with chemical abortions, if you know anything about that, over 70% of all abortions now are chemical, where a mom can just from her home get on the internet and look for an abortion pill that's sent directly to her home and abort that child in her bathroom. And she has no idea the devastation and how hard that is to abort a child in your own house, and understand the consequences of that. And so we aim to be online immediately and begin to counsel that mom with our nurses, and that just makes a huge difference in their lives. And so we want to continue to expand the work to reach more moms, to save that next baby by caring for her really well and change the world through love.
I like what you're doing, and I love the fact that you do it with your own stories and with your experience to make it undeniable. And I understand all you have to do is go to 560theanswer.com/human, right? 560theanswer.com/human.
Yes, sir.
Well, Jeff, really, you and your wife, my best to your wife, and I cannot thank you enough. You honor me with coming on, and I love what you bring to the table, and I love the way you do it. I wish you would have swore a little bit or got a little mad, but that's all right, Jeff. I'm working on you. By next year, you and I will be able to have a cigar. All right, very good. But I really do love you sharing your story and the courage it takes to share it and do what you're doing. It's an amazing story, and really, you bring hope to this kind of inhumanity by pushing back on it with your organization, the Human Coalition. Thank you so much, Jeff, really.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. We'll be back.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on The Sean Thompson Show on AM 560. the answer.
Why wait for Black Friday when you can save every day? Hasseless Mattress is bringing back Black Friday Plus. We've gone rogue and activated Black Friday deals now through December 2nd on all Beautyrest World Class, and Beautyrest Black mattresses. You get the way low Hasseless price on all Beautyrest mattresses, plus a free adjustable base, plus free memory foam pillows, plus free next day delivery, plus employee-free, hassle-free showrooms. Not just on Black Friday, but every day now through December 2nd. Get a Queen Beautyrest Elm Cove A mattress. Other stores sell it for $1,650, but our Black Friday Plus price is just $794, plus free adjustable base, plus free memory foam pillows, plus free next day delivery, and a great night's sleep for